when Prince Charles, the future King of Britain, criticized the UK's controversial new immigration policy that would send asylum seekers to Rwanda. Prince Charles had called the policy appalling. Prince Charles's comment came when a high court in the UK ruled to uphold the law and set the stage for the airlifting of the first set of asylum seekers to Rwanda on Friday. In their reaction, Boris Johnson's cabinet members warned the Prince of Wales to desist from meddling in public policy. Cabinet members reminded Charles that he needed to remain politically neutral as a royal. A lot of his views on architecture and horticulture are interesting, and I would always be willing to listen to them privately. But that's very different from him making public interventions as a monarch. The Queen's genius is that most of us have no idea what she thinks, a cabinet member told the Sunday Times of London about Prince Charles. Another cabinet member was blunter to the newspaper. While this kind of intervention will be tolerated while he's the Prince of Wales, the same will not be true when he becomes king. One MP put it this way: the trouble with Charles is that he thinks he needs to be interesting and he thinks people are interested in what he thinks. He seems to have misunderstood the role. In response to the tension, the royal family released a statement reassuring the nation that Charles will be politically neutral when he inherits the throne of his mother. The latest schism between Downing Street and Prince Charles adds to what has been seen as disrespectful behavior towards Prince Charles by Prime Minister Boris Johnson. When the two first met, Johnson was late, something Prince Charles abhors. Despite this, the two leaders are expected in Rwanda to attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference starting on Monday, June 20 in Kigali, Rwanda. Prince Charles was not the only one kicking against the UK's new asylum law. The UN's refugee agency also warned the Home Office twice that its arrangements to send asylum seekers to Rwanda was unlawful. Today is June 12, Nigeria's Democracy Day. As tradition requires, President Muhammadu Buhari made his last Democracy Day speech as president. In his speech, he expressed worry about insecurity in the country. Only a week ago, terrorists attacked a church in Owo, Ondo State. In his speech, Buhari called on Nigerians to pray more. He stated that his government is working hard to contain the carnage going on across the country. On this special day, I want us all to put all victims of terrorist activities in our thoughts and prayers. I'm living daily with the grief and worry for all those victims and prisoners of terrorism and kidnapping. I and the security agencies are doing all we can to free those unfortunate countrymen and women, the president said. I'm Chido Onuma. It is 8:30 a.m. in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is 4:30 p.m. in Nigeria.
It is 5:30 p.m. in Rwanda. Wherever in the world you are joining us, welcome to another edition of 90 Minutes Africa. On our show today, which is June 12th, we have Alex Kabba, veteran journalist who was arrested, detained, tried, and ran away from Nigeria during the fight for June 12th mandate of MKO Abiola. Mr. Kabba is the publisher and editor-in-chief of African Abroad USA newspaper. Also joining us is activist Deji Adeyanju, convener of Concern Nigeria. They will reflect on 29 years after the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election and help us assess the current presidential candidates with an eye on the president Nigeria needs in 2023. Deji and Alex, welcome to the show. We can hear you. Unmute yourself. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Deji, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, very good. It's nice to see all of you. And I don't know if any of you caught the speech that the president made today. I'll start with you, Alex Kabba. Did you watch the speech?
Well, I did not watch it, but I read a few part of it. and of the need to recognize and honor the heroes of June 12th. Begin with MK Abiola, the chief MK Abiola, the biggest victim of the June 12th.
Okay. Deji, we can't see you. Okay, you're back. So, Deji, did you watch the speech of the
No, I
president?
didn't watch it, but I read excerpts from the speech.
Okay.
And my take is that it was filled with lies, as usual, and it was a very disappointing one. This president is a man who lies unprovoked to Nigerians every time he appears on the television or he makes a broadcast for the people. He lied about sympathizing with Nigerians. This was somebody who was partying a day after the Owo massacre. He also lied about dividends of democracy. Nigerians cannot see anything or witness anything. The only good thing was that he said it was the last speech. Nigerians cannot wait to get rid of this president. He has run an appalling regime, and a dictatorship one at that. So those were my takes from the speech.
Chido, you have to unmute yourself.
So, beyond the president's speech, 29 years after, are there any lessons we've learned? Let's start with Mr. Kabba, who was in the thick of things as a journalist 29 years ago when the election happened and the annulment that subsequently took place. Can you run us through what happened for particularly young viewers who may not have been born or who were too young to know what happened quickly and see how far we've come down the road in the last 29 years?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chido. I will just take you briefly to the time in 1992 when the election was over and we were all at Area 11. The INEC used to be at Area 11 in Gariki. We were all there outside waiting for the result. The result was being displayed on the wall, one by one, state by state. And when it got to a certain, almost getting to the half of the results being announced at INEC headquarters, Professor Nwosu, according to what we later gathered, got a call from Aso Rock that he should come. And that was when he got there, that was the end of the result announcement. Only for us to now hear, as we were standing outside, that they started saying that some unknown forces have signed a small press release canceling the June 12th election. Everybody was in shock. Even the so-called Babangida, who claimed to be a very, very brave man, could not even put his name. An unsigned press release annulled the will of Nigerians. And that is when Nigeria was plunged into a big crisis all over the place since 1992 till all of us, journalists and activists who are not happy about it, redouble our efforts to say that we don't want to do military government anymore. And that forced Babangida to what is it called now, to leave power briefly with Shoneko, and later on our own notorious Abacha, General Abacha. But we didn't stop from it. They keep on arresting journalists. For me personally, because I was in Abuja then representing the news, Tempo, PM newspapers and magazines. We were putting all their secrets out, and they were really determined to kill us or put us in jail. They would put me, arrest me, and send me on trial to Wuse, to Kuje. They even go and jail me in Kuje and put me everywhere. So also for other journalists, the ones that they could not, who could not wait, they flew into exile. And mine was so bad that they said that I was unrepentant rebel, that they have taken me to so many prisons and detained me, and I refused to stop. So the final solution was 1995, when they came to the president in Wuse and give me the final solution over June 12th. And the journalists for Christ's sake, they were able to allow me to escape, but I'm not going to disclose how I escaped. But we detained all the journalists at the press center for over 3 hours at the press center, searching the roof and looking for this journalist who's been giving us too much trouble. So, and that is the situation that led to the collective Nigeria saying we must now give this. When we got to 1999 and democracy came, they now agreed that they must give it to the tribe of the man who won an election and died in prison. Femke Abiola, who won an election. The only crime he committed, crime in quote, is that he won an election and they killed him for that. So to ameliorate the Yoruba and try to keep Nigeria together, they now agreed that the two candidates for election in 1999 should be Yorubas. That's why they brought Olufalaye, former SGF, and our chief Femke Abiola, and the two of them ran the election. If Abiola ran on a Muslim ticket with Kigibe, and he won the election, defeated another kind of man called Tofa, who recently died.
Not to cut you, sorry, when you keep referring to they, is there a sense in which we understand who they are?
When I say they, I mean what they call them power broker. They give them different kind of names, but there are people who at that time used to own Nigeria. They get direction of Nigeria. That is how you see that out of the blues, they can make a Sheneko interim head of government. You understand me? Out of the blues, they say, okay, Sheneko go and resign. And they made Abacha the next head of state. So there are some power brokers who were controlling the direction of Nigeria. And there are very few. And they don't care what you feel about it. It was when they realized that they have got into the precipice of Nigeria getting disintegrated because the anger of June 12th was so much that they now say, let us ameliorate the Yorubas. And the person we are going to put there is not somebody that they are going to even like, but we are going to put him there. And that's when they brought Obasanjo from prison, who might become head of state. So you could see the cynicism in that one. They know that Yorubas don't like Obasanjo. They insisted that he should be the one to be the president. So that's what I'll tell you about for now.
Thank you, Alex Kabba. Deji, I don't know, where were you on June 12th, 1993, and how do you remember, or what did you read about the history of that time, and is it connected to what's happening today?
Yes, it is connected to what's happening today. I was still so young. I was not even active politically or Aluta-wise as at then. But I remember vividly the wild celebration. We were all in the street, shouting, dancing, singing, and rejoicing over the victory of Chief Femke Abiola. I also know for a fact that Chief Femke Abiola had won the election in a landslide and had defeated Bashir Tofa with over 2 million votes. I was also aware that he had not only defeated Bashir Tofa in Kano, and I also knew that Chief Femke Abiola had won in Lagos convincingly. I also knew that the results were annulled simpliciter by the Babangida regime because they didn't want democracy to prevail. And on the subject matter of whether June 12 is connected to all that is happening in the country today, of course it is connected. It's about participation, it's about popular will. And if you see the resistance of not just the election itself or the outcome of the election itself, but post-election, you discover is the same resistance that we are witnessing within the polity of Nigeria today. And a situation where, people who continue to romance with the oppressors, because whether you like it or not, many people within that struggle romance with the oppressors, and if there was a clear cut of not romancing with the oppressors, maybe the outcome will have been a little bit different. Again, the same characters today are romance or continue to romance with oppressors, even within the polity of our country. And when I hear things like why Abiola won, even despite Muslim, was because Nigeria was not as divided as it is today. in the last 7 years, the current government has spent almost all the years dividing Nigeria along religious and tribal lines. So it becomes almost impossible for a repeat of the June 12th to happen again in Nigeria, because as the APC are already planting propaganda of the Muslim ticket, they will be shocked that the election will become a religious thing. And it's unfortunate because we are where we are today because the Bola Tinubu of this world, they romance with a tyrant, a known tyrant. They brought him back to power for their selfish interests, and they think that they can come now and benefit from it. And you can hear from the outburst of the convener of Emilokon, you understand, Bola Tinubu, that all he cared about was not Nigeria. All he wanted was about himself. The reason why he supported Buhari was because they had an agreement that after Buhari, he will become the next president. So these guys, they don't give a damn about Nigeria. All they care about is their selfish interest. Or if you look at all the talks about zoning, it wasn't about equity. It wasn't about power going back to the zone that's never been president before. It was about a Yoruba man becoming president, and it was about him. He said it plainly. He said it was the turn of the Yorubas, and it is him that is Yoruba. It is his turn because they have an agreement. So a situation where a country will be reduced to the whims and caprices of Buhari and Tinubu, it's very most unfortunate.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to move a little bit to the primaries and the presidential candidates, which is the subtitle of our conversation today. Alex Kabba, we now know the candidates of the major parties, all the parties, I think, and they are actually talking about picking their vice presidential candidates. What is your take on how the conventions, how it went for the major parties?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very pleased with the outcome, the organization, as how it was conducted. I'm very pleased with it. I will just give you a little background. Initially, the left of Nigeria have always been in the political doldrum. We never had we always bring a knife to a gunfight, and I've always been praying that we should have somebody like Asiwaju Tinubu, somebody who can match them, money for money, resources for resources, influence for influence. In those days of Awolowo and the other leftists who are trying to enter government, they didn't have the resources to match the right-wing elements in Nigeria. So the right wing, if you look at Nigerian government, it has always been right wing that will be ruling. Because look at the NPM. They have over 100 millionaires at that time who were in that party. And look at UPN. Just one man and many other people. So when my prayer was answered and I realized that many people say, oh, Asiwaju, we didn't know how he got his money. How did you know that he got his money? How do you know it's not the goodwill of the rich people around him? So I disagree with people like that. And I also say that Asiwaju, nobody can question his patriotism. This time I was telling you when we were all going to Alagmo prison, when Asiwaju was opening his mouth to talk about the democracy that we wanted, all these people benefiting from this government today and yesterday, they kept quiet. It was Asiwaju and Kudirat and all those few people who were talking, and they were being pursued by the military government all over the place. So it's not just talking, it's doing. So now back to the convention. The convention was very good. The best candidate won because actually Bola Tinubu is the best candidate that Nigeria can have. I'm not going to go and cook my food and after finish cooking it and go and give it to a stranger. Look at what has happened. He gave it to Osinbajo, the vice president of Nigeria today, who never knew anything about the struggle. He just became an inheritor and sat on it and wanted to even contest against his benefactor. And you people think that it's okay, you can betray me, and it's the best thing in the world. In any Nigerian culture, it's the worst thing in the world. You don't want people around you, that kind of people around you, no matter how beneficial. You can say hello, but you don't get people who are so snaky like that around you. So Asiwaju, whether it's going to be a Muslim ticket or whether it's going to be a Christian ticket, I don't care. I believe you have to fight for power. Nobody's going to give you power. If it is Muslim ticket that will give the presidency to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, I am 100% for it, and I'm a Christian. Because look at the man who is a Christian now in VP in the Aso Rock. It's like an ornament in a house. What is his beneficiary? What is his benefit to Nigeria? As a Christian pastor, it's only to his own redeemed people, redeemed Church of Christ, that any small thing he gave is to the redeemed church. Of what benefit is it that to the Catholic Church, to the Protestant Church, and all the other Anglican Church?
Thank you, Mr. Kabba.
Muslim, you should know that there's a question mark. You have to win election.
Thank you very much. Still on the issue of the presidency, we've been 7.5 years into the APC government, which, according to you, Tinubu helped install. Can you say convincingly that we are better off today than we were, not both as citizens, individuals, but also as a corporate entity, than we were 7.5 years ago when Buhari came to power?
Yeah, it is the challenges that Buhari had. That is why he was able to perform to whatever he was able to perform. Even though it's not up to the standard of some people like us, we would have liked, if in normal circumstances, he shouldn't have done what all these ones, opening the seams of our division and all that. But that is why we are backing Asiwaju, because Asiwaju is not going to go and run government like that. It's going to bring the competent people, and it's going to do things that will bring unity of Nigeria to the forefront, because we have to unite Nigerians first before we can have economic progress. So I believe that the APC, being a new party, they stumble on the ground and they are now at the gate. That's why we are trying to bring somebody who has the resources, who has the brain to turn Nigeria around, fix our security problems and our economic problem, and unify the country.
Thank you very much. So over to you, Deji. You've heard what Alex has said. First of all, we would like to get your take on the conduct of the primaries generally, at least for the main political parties. Is there a sense in which we'll see democracy rising? Then, of course, you can talk about the individual candidates and how they emerged and what they portend for Nigeria.
Basically, thank you very much for that question. Basically, the convention was a gathering of armed robbers, meeting and exchanging financial crime. They were bribing each other at the PDP convention and at the APC convention. It was a bureau de change activity, buying and selling of the country. And you can hear what even one of Alex has said. He said his principal was ready to match them money for money, dollar for dollar. So it was about a financial transaction with them. They believe that a country should be run based on principles like that. And it's unthinkable that anyone who wishes its country well, we have all traveled around the world. We know what is obtainable in other parts of the world. We know that Nigeria is not working because of things like this. We know that these guys are the reason why the hospitals are not working. Both Buhari and Tinubu, they are medical tourists, and we know that the insecurity in the country is bad because generals in the Nigerian army have turned insecurity to a business venture. We know that the economy, the dollar is bad because of what APC and PDP were doing at their convention. This has always been the case, and other issues about inflation, about unemployment. Before you come to the public and start telling people that someone can match money for money, dollar for dollar, people need to ask which company has this person created before? What is his source of income? What goods and services does he offer? Has he created anything like Facebook, Apple? Did he create an electric car? How can somebody just suddenly, out of the blues, have so much money that bullion banks can no longer contain it? These are armed robbers, simpliciter. These are people who should be in jail. In China, these people will have been shot dead. They won't be running for public office. These are criminals, for God's sake. And we stay here, we justify things that cannot be justified in any decent society, you know, and not minding the fact that our children are going to come and see these things we are saying and these things we are doing, you know, and that there'll be consequences. Look at the people that brought Buhari to power. The consequences of that 2014, 2015 action is going to affect Nigeria for the next 50 years. You know, you want to bring somebody that cannot hold a flag for 1 minute to power. Somebody that cannot hold a piece of paper, hand is trembling. You know, so these are the issues. Again, talking about the candidates, how is Atiku different from Tinubu? They are all in the same WhatsApp group, corrupt people. They are not coming to do anything but to destroy the country. You know, just like we had won in 2015. If you bring this Buhari man, he's coming to destroy. People say, no, we hate Buhari. Look at the outcome today. Completely destroyed the country. Broken all forms of economic achievements we have had. Our GDP is down to almost zero. We're now at 0 point something. From 4.8 thereabout. You know, so if you look at it critically, this man has emptied our treasury completely. Our foreign reserve depleted all of them, borrowed money from all over the world. You know, and look at the antecedent of the man they are marketing today from Lagos. All what they did was steal public funds, steal funds from Lagos. All their plan is just how to steal money. They have no single plan. You cannot hear them talking about anything progressive or anything futuristic. These are just people who are coming to steal and destroy the economy. Nothing else can be achieved with this kind of people. So, and this is why the frustrations that you are witnessing, they think that they will continue to do these things and get away with it. Boko Haram is as a result of the complete neglect and the arrogance of certain people in the north. They believe that they can do practically anything and get away with it. A time is going to come that the Ashiwadus of this world, the Alex of this world will not be able to roam the streets because the poor people are going to turn at them. You understand? You cannot continue to do these things and think that nothing will happen. Look at the north. If you are told people in the north that Kaduna Abuja Express will not be able, people will not be able to drive on that road some few years ago, will anybody have believed? No, nobody will have believed. But today, even generals cannot drive on that road because these things have been building up. They think that taking bullion vans in front of their house, you know, and sharing money, they think is the solution. They think money is the solution to everything. I listened to Remi Tinubu once said that lazy Lagos youths are always in their house waiting to collect money because you have stolen their future. Your husband and have looted their future. Why wouldn't they be in your house waiting to collect money? So these are the issues. If we are being serious in this country, these people should not even be on the ballot.
All right, Deji, thank you so much. Alex Kabba, I'll give you a chance to respond. But before then, let me play a video of Bola Tinubu making a speech after he won the APC presidential the primary. So let me play the speech and then we'll be back.
To our president. Well, to you, the legislature, Senate President, Senator Ahmad Lawan, I would have been a little upset because you compete with me. But that is over now. Since you can easily lick your wounds, it doesn't take away from thanking you for the past cooperation, collaboration, and cool-headedness to build our country. You've helped and steer the ship of this nation in the right direction. Thank you very much. And with your team in the Senate, history is written and it will be kind to you.
All right, Alex Kabba, you said that Tinubu was the best candidate. Are you saying that the person you just watched on the screen who is obviously struggling to make a speech, and we have seen several times where his hands were shaking, where he couldn't articulate himself, that he was the best candidate to rule Nigeria or to govern Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I answer that one, I would also like to talk to Comrade Deji Adeyanju. You have never convicted Asiwaju Tinubu nor his wife, Senator Remi Tinubu, of any crime. In the US or any advanced country, you don't make insinuation without factual backing. We cannot come and insinuate here that Asiwaju is a thief, his wife is stolen money or their inheritance, when you have not have any shred of evidence to back it up. This is not how they do it in Western countries that you are alluding to. So please, Asiwaju is a honest man, an upright man, our next president of Nigeria by the grace of God. And we are going to be here to next time to come and talk about it. Then to you, our own Rudolph Okonkwo, the thing is that we are not going to question God about whether we have infirmities or we have challenges. It is not in our own power to determine people's health. Asiwaju, you can see we have a president here too, President Bush, President what is his name again?
Biden.
Of America, Biden. He also has challenges when he's reading or when he wants to. So it doesn't remove from his acuity of his mind. Asiwaju has acuity of the mind. He has told you he's not going there to go and become be a person who push Omolanke or rickshaw. He's there to use his brain to rule Nigeria. So I will just say, please, and when this story about bullion van, if you have read the Nigerian Central Bank Act, it tells you that if you want to move money 1 million above, you can use bullion for security. It has nothing to, and they were doing presidential election in 2019, and there are so many agents who are going to work for the party, who are going to be paid. All you think about is that there is bribe. All these agents that work in all these local government area of Lagos State were paid, and it has to do with bribe. You have to pay delegates to come and do the work for you at the polling station. So this bullion van is perfectly legal for anybody who has enough money, who want to move big money above 1 million, to use bullion van to do so. Go and read the CBN Act, and you will see there. So I'll stop insinuating that if a bullion van comes to my house now, that means I'm an armed robber. So please.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we could seek further clarification here. First of all, even though Tinubu is a party man, it's not like he was directly involved in the running. He didn't occupy any party office by 2019 when this issue of bullion van happened. But importantly, I think it brings us to the whole question of, and somebody has raised this, I know on one TV interview, the gentleman who ran his campaign, or one of who coordinated one of his campaign group, was asked on the TV show about the source of wealth, and he couldn't give any answer. He just kept saying he wasn't going to dignify that question with an answer. Do we know then, if we're saying that the APC candidate is a very rich man, people would naturally want to know what's the source of his wealth? What are his investments? Do we have any idea? And I'm not putting you on the spot, but if you have any information for us, that would be helpful.
Chido, it was the other guy who was formerly the DG of the campaign. I want to tell you, I'm not speaking here on behalf of Asiwaju Tinubu, not be appointed to any position. My own talking about him and is because of my relationship with him. Now, having said that, I know you put me on the spot. You have not asked the source of money for Atiku. You have not asked the family of Obi.
We'll get to that.
Asiwaju has not told you that he is a billionaire. He has not told you that. and you have not been able to come and prove to us that Ashwaju has all this money. What you don't know is that it is goodwill. I know a former head of state of Nigeria of recent past. When they went to meet him, and I will not call it town, when they went to meet him, that they needed money for the election to one of the states in the Southwest, that they needed money, they needed resources. This head of state then sent him to another billionaire to go and collect the money. Is that his money? They sent him to another billionaire to give them money, and they were given money. And this money is not from the former head of state; it was taken directly from the from that billionaire. So what you are forgetting something in Nigeria. There are goodwill that people have that they can turn to.
Thank you very much.
To come here that we have seen 100 billion naira or dollar in the account of Ashwaju, that is a rich man. You see, sometimes you can have appearance of being rich, but all you have is goodwill.
All right. Thank you very much for that insight. As I said, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just wanted to find out if you had any information for us. But I think we should go to the substantial question, which is about our country and where we are today. We have a very crucial election next year. It's important for us to start to talk about the issue. Maybe I'll go to Deji, then we'll come back to you, Alex.
Okay.
One of the issues that came up in 2014, before Buhari's first term in office, was the issue of restructuring. And that was contained in the APC manifesto. 7 years down the line, nobody in APC, once they took over, we started hearing discordant tones about that. And Bola Tinubu, who is the candidate of the APC now, I hear, was one of the key people who pushed that position. In fact, in one of the interviews that people are also using against him today that had a banner headline that I do not believe in one Nigeria. So what do you think? Let's start from that question of restructuring, and then we can discuss other things, the economy, insecurity, and how these candidates stack up. Because no matter what we think about the candidates, there are certain fundamental existential questions we need to answer about Nigeria. And one of them is the question of restructuring. Deji, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, before I go straight to the campaign issues, what the campaign issues should look like, I also want to just respond to Alex by saying that Bola Tinubu does not have any known source of income. Aside politics, that's what he has done all his life. And he by himself, not under duress. When he went to Osun to campaign, he said, I am richer than Osun State. Where did he get the money from? He's a thief. I'm saying it again, that he's a thief. Where did he get money to be richer than Osun State from? Only a thief speaks like that. A thief, only. Only a thief can say he's richer than a state. You have not invented anything. You don't have any known source of income except politics. How can you be richer than Osun State? How can you have a bullion van in your house and people are here justifying that? A bullion van is only used to move money from central bank to commercial bank. Go and read the CBN Act again. Section 1 of the Money Laundering and Prohibition Act says that no individual shall be in custody of more than 5 million naira cash. That it is a crime if an individual is in the custody of more than 5 million naira cash. The same section 1 says no corporate entity, that is body corporate, registered under corporate and allied matters at KAMA 2020, that no corporate body shall be in custody of more than 10 million naira cash. That's a body corporate shall not be in possession of 10 million naira cash, exceeding 10 million naira cash, and an individual shall not be in possession of physical cash exceeding 5 million naira. But somebody was with a bullion van. He even came to say, it is my money. Did anybody complain that his money is missing? How can we have such people running our country? How can you allow someone like that to have access to the Central Bank of Nigeria? How can you allow someone like that to be the one controlling the FCC? We still have a substituting petition against Bola Tinubu at the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. So these are the issues. Now going straight to the question of what the issues are, are and what the issues should be around the campaign. Health is very important. Health is important. Yes, I agree restructuring is a valid conversation that we should have, but the health of the president is important. Because in the last 7 years, we've been plagued by a man who is extremely sick, who has wasted taxpayers' money in billions of naira by parking our presidential jet at Heathrow, who has wasted not just time, resources, and manpower, but he has wasted the time of the country as well. So health is important. Financial accountability is another important factor. You can't have a man who cannot explain the source of his income.
Sorry, before you go on, I think you touched on a very important thing, the question of health. Could you elaborate on that? What should we expect? Is it that, are you saying the candidates should make available publicly their records, their health situation?
Absolutely. In fact, I agree with the NDLA that candidates should be subjected to drug tests, because when you find people that their hands are shaking, their leg is shaking, everything is shaking, this could be as a result of drug abuse here and there. Candidates should be compelled to supply their medical records. Candidates should be subjected to public debate. Candidates should be tested for not just drug, but mental, because some people, when they begin to open their mouth and speak, you can see that some nuts are missing somewhere. So it must go beyond just talking about, oh, I want to be president because Emilio come. No. Because once beaten, twice shy. We have been beaten by Buhari. Nigerians must be conscious, because I've started seeing a picture of somebody also sitting in a mosque like Buhari to pray. These are already signs that Nigeria is in for serious trouble. That is on one hand. On the other hand, we must also look at the issue of accountability, financial accountability. Look at Lagos State, for instance, most corrupt state in the history of Nigeria. The state lacks transparency since from Tinubu's time. Their budget and the budgeting system is showing in secrecy. They lack financial accountability. If you look at how their budgets are even passed, everything is like a cult. So you need leaders who will be accountable to the people. If you look at what Bukola Saraki did in the Senate, in the 8th Senate, I never liked Bukola Saraki, but they did openness. They made the budgeting template of National Assembly open for the first time. So you need candidates who will be financially accountable to the people. Leadership is about accountability. It's not just about coming to rig elections, and not caring what the people say. Yes, I agree that the country needs to be restructured completely. So the restructuring should be on the table. It should be a conversation we should be willing to have. We should be willing to hold parties to. The APC has apparently and obviously defrauded the Nigerian people, no doubt. However, the next president should be somebody that we should commit the person to restructuring. Though Buhari and the APC committed to restructuring, but you can see the way they have successfully defrauded Nigerians. So, in moving forward, I believe that the restructuring debate is important. However, health should top the priority. Financial accountability should top the priority, and policies around inclusion for women, for youth, and all these other issues should also be on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Alex, how do you respond to Deji, but also to the substantial?
Yes, so you see, when we're in the secondary school, they said that a political party is a group of individuals who come together to take power. It's a pressure group. It's not, you see, that is the basic definition of politics and political power. So I'm going to tell you that the statement actually made in Osun State is a bluster. They were in the midst of a political campaign. He didn't go to a court to go and swear that is richer than Osun State. It's a campaign. In a campaign, you use hyperbole sometimes. That is one. Then number two, you saying that actually saying that actually has no means of income, or he has never worked anywhere except in politics. Actually, work in Mobile for a long time, and you don't have to invest Facebook before you can get rich. There are people who invest all over the world. They don't have to come and tell you that they have investment all over the place. You can put $100,000 somewhere, and in another 2 years, it's something else. It will become more. And for the part of on the health and all that, this health test you are talking about, Ashwaju is very, very agile. You could see that he's very agile. You can see from his speech that he delivered in Abeokuta that guy has what it takes to become the 16th president of Nigeria, because you are looking at, oh, his hand shook, he did that. How many of us here that don't have health challenges sometimes once in a while, especially when you have crossed 60 and above? So it doesn't
Yeah,
affect.
but we are not running for president.
No, I am just talking as a human being, because some people
so
want to blame God.
if we have problems, we are not running for president.
I know, Chido, you are not running for president. Ashwaju is running for president.
Yeah.
And God has already preordained it that he's going to win. So that is why most people are afraid. If he was a candidate that has no chance, you people will not be so worried like this. There are over 20-something candidates of other parties. Why are we worried about Ashwaju that he was having challenge reading his speech? The guy was standing. There's no podium in his front to put it, It was just a bank of microphones. So I believe that Ashwaju has the mental acuity, the strength, because you could see the way he went all over the country campaigning with visiting leaders, visiting emirs, visiting Obas. How many other candidates did that? Do you think somebody who is having health challenge can do that? Ashwaju is don't worry about his health. Anybody that God can deliver from Abacha, God can deliver him from every.
Okay, fair enough. It's good to say we shouldn't worry about his health. I think you also need to address some of the substantial issues about the election. But before we get to that, do we know how old Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is?
They are in the document that was submitted to INEC.
Okay,
and I'm not privy to them.
All right, so we can segue into the substantial question of policy, whether it's restructuring, whether it's inclusion, whether it's unifying the country. What would be the three most important conversation we should be having about the candidates? And it's not just about Tinubu. I think why it appears that it's about Tinubu because you made it about Tinubu, and then so you can talk about other candidates and generally that this is what we should be looking at.
As for me, the major thing that Nigeria is facing today, two major things that Nigerians are facing today, if not three. The major one they are facing now is security. And I'm very sure that Ashwaju is going to do something about that security, where people will not be able to travel again, where people now can't travel. No, you are going to stop that. Then number two is this issue of disunity, disintegration. If you go to the Southeast now, people can't, a non-government actor will stop people from going out on Mondays. This is how bad things have become. You didn't start any reconciliation process with the Southeast. There's really anger there on the street of the Southeast, which their governors have said that everybody should go to work on Monday, but nobody goes out. So non-state actors have taken over that area on Mondays. So that is a sign of problem for Nigeria. So those are the problems that I think Ashwaju is going to face, and it's going to really solve it. And the third one is the economy. Too many unemployed youths. Too many. So those are the three core things I believe Ashwaju will face, and is going to conquer them. And don't forget that restructuring can only come. You cannot talk of restructuring when there are some people who want to leave Nigeria, who are agitating for secessionist agenda. And you know that there's a big problem of people who are angry with Nigeria today. And you are trying to, and a political party, the PDP, now made the historic mistake of going to nominate another Hausa Fulani to go and contest presidency. In the history of Nigeria, where did you see an Hausa man, a Fulani man, being taking power from another Fulani man or another Yoruba man, giving Yoruba man another Yoruba man power? So PDP made a mistake. They should have given that power, that ticket to Wike. Then I would have been afraid. that this is going to be a very competitive match. The mood of the country, you will see that it doesn't favor their ticket.
Yeah, but then do you think, if going by that argument, do you think the mood of the country favors a Muslim ticket that people are proposing in the APC?
Before you answer, Alex, hold on, okay? Chido, hold on. Let me play a video of El Rufai talking about the issue of Muslim ticket, because in the next 1 week, all the candidates, that's the first choice they will make, is to decide who will be their vice presidential candidate. So I'll play that video and then we'll have this conversation. Okay, just a minute. All right. I'm sorry.
You can add it.
Okay, if you have it, yeah, I can.
I don't think that the business of governance has to do with religion. I think we should look for the best person for the job, the person that will get the job done, and get him to do that. I'm the wrong person to ask, because in my state, I picked a very competent, qualified woman as my running mate in the 2019 elections. But just because she happens to be a Muslim, people are calling it Muslim ticket. And they said we're going to lose. We did it. We won overwhelmingly. This fixation of Nigerians with religion instead of competence, capacity, and capability is quite sad and pathetic. And I urge you as media to please take religion out of governance, and let's look for competence, capacity, capability, and delivery. I don't think we should be looking at religion. We want to develop this country. When I get into a plane, I don't ask for the religion of the pilot. When I go to hospital, I don't ask for the religion of the doctor. I just want to get well. I want to get to my destination, even an aircraft. The way the media and many irresponsible people try to inject religion in politics and governance is sad and pathetic. I will not take us anywhere. Nigeria is at a crossroads. We face very, very serious dangers in security, in economic meltdown. The global issues are affecting us.
All right. Let's stop here.
Yeah, Alex, before you answer, I think El Rufai raises a valid argument. Religion shouldn't have a place in our politics. And I would add ethnicity and a couple of other things. So going by that logic, is it then proper for us to propose that Tinubu shouldn't even bother going to the north to look for whether it's a Muslim or Christian? He can pick a competent person from Lagos State.
To pick someone
he can pick somebody from Lagos, one of those boys he has made who are very competent in Lagos, and run with them. That should be fine with the APC. Is that my understanding?
You have not. We're talking about national policy, and you're taking me to the statement of the governor of Kaduna State. What I take from there is not the ethnicity. You cannot remove ethnicity from politics in Nigeria. We are not at that level.
Well, you can remove religion.
Yes, you can. I will tell you, you can remove religion. I know the reason why I said that. You see, I lived in Lagos for over 30 years. In fact, I grew up there. They don't give a damn whether you are a Muslim or a Christian. The same family, they have Christian, they have Muslim. So if I tell you that these people running about saying that they don't want Christian candidate, a Muslim candidate, they are not even going to vote for him in the first place. I know some Zuns in this country that are not going to vote for Asiwaju. They have their primordial determination. They see a very good candidate like this, but because of their prejudice, they will not vote for him. But I know that now the people will vote for him. You are saying you want to go and tie their hand, that you don't want them to be Muslim ticket, or you don't want it to be this. When they were winning the election at the convention ground, where were you? Now you are coming out all over the place, crawling out under you are saying it must be this, it must be that. So leave the man to pick who he wants. You can work with him, a competent person that can balance the ticket. I'm not saying that he should go and pick it from his village. It should look at the sensitivity of the whole country. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, and you cannot run away from that. And we have not gotten to a place where you can now say we are going to discountenance that. We don't care. We can put two Hausa men there, Hausa Fulani men there to run. The two parties to run, they should put two. So the reason why...
But we did it in 1999. Two Yoruba men.
For a reason.
And so you think there is no reason
for a reason that time.
For a reason
that time. The reason, and it was not even one ticket, it was two tickets. Their running mates were not Yorubas.
The concession was that the two major tickets were...
Hold on, they are different tickets. It's not one. I am telling you, you are missing it. The two who were candidates in 1999 were two Yorubas, but their running mates were not Yorubas.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That either way, Yoruba man would have emerged as president of the country.
Either way, too, another person like Kungibe will have also emerged as the vice president. Or Ben Obi. Is it Ben Obi that was running with Bashir Tofa? Either way, the two tickets cannot win at the same time. So, but it's there that the two tickets have other people from other areas to balance the ticket. So, if Asiwaju wants to pick anybody from the Northwest, which has the highest number of votes, I will support it. If you want to pick a candidate from the Northeast, I will support it. And I'm a member of a Pentecostal church. And I know that the church and Christianity and Islam does not have no bearing on government. We have a pastor for 7 years now as a vice president of Nigeria. Tell me he's continuing to national development in Nigeria, except to be going around speaking Dogo Tureshi all over the place.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, Deji. Your take.
Okay.
Yes, basically, when somebody said Asiwaju worked in Mobile, he worked as gate man, or what did he work in Mobile as?
Accounting.
Because we have friends, my brother, we have friends who are top management staff in Mobile. He don't have any money like that. Which money did he get from Mobile? Where did he steal money from Mobile? Which money does he have? How is it possible for him to make money at Mobile? After he finished working in Mobile, then he went to the US and was driving taxi. Yeah, he came back and joined police. All of a sudden, he became rich. He has money all over the place. The money can no longer even fit into bullion man. See, may what we want to eat, this stomach thing, may it not allow us to be behaving like FFK. You understand? Because sometimes I can never understand how people peeing on their body. Be supporting somebody that is peeing on his body, that his hand is shaking, that is this. Because of all this stomach infrastructure, the thing we want to eat, this belly. I don't know why the belly will begin to control us. And again, moving on.
Deji, please, we're not moving on. Hold on. You see, we have elevated this conversation since. Now you have gotten to another level again of this insinuation that I'm hungry. That's why I'm supporting Asiwaju.
I didn't mention your name. I made reference to
Listen. We are in a show here, and I don't want you to go ruffle and try to speak English that you think people don't understand. Do I look like somebody who is hungry in New York? That will be saying that it was because of stomach infrastructure? Did I get a dime from Buhari's government instead of our support for him? You think
nobody, no sensible human being will continue to support Buhari's government? No sense, in my view.
You are saying now that your opinion,
we support a government that killed NSAS protesters in Lekki toll gate, a government that has arrested critics but refused to arrest Boko Haram, a government that went all the way to Kenya to arrest Nnamdi Kanu but refused to arrest terrorists in Kaduna, and you are here saying you are supporting the government. You are benefiting from the government.
Why are you saying
you are benefiting from the government?
Why are you saying that?
From the government? You are corrupt,
Hold on, why are you saying
the government?
Why are you
the
saying
government that kills the citizens is the government that supports?
Just listen.
What are you talking about, my friend?
Deji, hold on.
My friend.
I cannot follow your own opinion.
You are supporting the government because you are benefiting from the government.
This is the problem I have with people like you.
For you to support
you don't want other people to have
excuse me. The government that killed NSAS protesters is the one you are confidently beating your chest and saying you are supporting.
Hold on.
The government that went all the way to Kenya to arrest Nnamdi Kanu, they cannot go here. Terrorists abducted people on the train here, and you say you are supporting the government.
Asiwaju is not the head of state, so stop misdirecting yourself. Asiwaju is not the head of state.
People like FFK. People like FFK that allow their stomach to control them.
Asiwaju is not the head of state.
The number one problem of this country.
Asiwaju is.
Sorry, gentlemen, wait, Deji.
In a multi-religious country, but you are now telling me that we should put tribal and ethnic consideration After this interview, please try and listen to yourself again.
But don't ever say somebody was working for stomach infrastructure.
It's stomach infrastructure, my brother. I'm saying it again.
Doing that for your foundation.
Don't tell me I should never. I'm telling it to your face.
You may be doing it for your foundation fund to get funds from your people in New York or wherever.
That is what you are doing.
So you too, self,
people like you are
doing this for your stomach infrastructure. All these funds you are saying this is you can get funds
beyond your
stomach foundation. I'm doing it because I believe in it.
That is why.
I'm not like you who solicit for funds from foundation abroad.
How can you be
supporting
someone
can
like
we end? Deji,
children are going to come one day and see this video.
Deji, people, please.
All right, let's
maintain some decorum.
Let's take a break, okay, and we'll be right back.
My people, look here, face me like Facebook. I go silly sound, I go sing a chameleon. Time don't come for us to wake up. My people, it's not time for action. Yeah. No more, double. We know how, yeah, leaders, we don't tire. This situation, we don't need to.
Them say, the way you now so go lie on top. When you sell your votes, not poverty, you dey invite to make you shine your eye.
Make you don't sell your vote, no shishi for bribe. If you talk, you say, and I talk, you say, no shishi for bribe. If you talk and I talk, and we all the time, you say, no shishi for bribe. You say, no shishi for bribe. You say, no shishi for bribe. Sell your vote, sell opportunity, sell your tomorrow.
You say good roads, good health, and education.
Them say the way you lay your bed, that's how you go lie on top. They go try to bribe you with chichi. Make you know say your future for chichi. Then go surely.
Thank you very much. Please, gentlemen, we are all colleagues and compatriots. Let's not drag ourselves in the mud. We can disagree without being disagreeable. I think, Deji, it doesn't matter what people think. Every Nigerian has a right, and we can't convincingly say people are making their choices based on stomach infrastructure. So let's not go there.
All right, Chido, I think you are frozen or something. So thank you, everybody. I want us to move. We are going to invite our audience members to join us, and they will have an opportunity to also ask questions. But before we do that, I want to get your take on the issue of the third force. We see something developing in Nigeria that we have not seen before, which is, by all estimation, a total dislike of the two major candidates from the two main political parties, and is fueling something what we see as a movement by young people to register. And one of the people who are consider the third force are people like P2B, Omoyele Sowore, and people like that. So, Deji, what do you think about that possibility of a third force challenging these two dominant parties, PDP and APC?
In fact, it's very refreshing to see, new faces coming into our polity, because our polity requires a lot of sanitization. And again, if you look at the twin evil of APC and PDP, they've so destroyed the country to the extent that they've made politics all about money and rigging. I listened to El-Rufai in the earlier clip you played saying he picked Muslim ticket and they won convincingly. The results, I can still, we all still remember the result. The election was very close despite the wide margin of rigging. Even after the rigging, they narrowly won the election. And the Muslim ticket that he picked is the genesis of all the security challenges Kaduna is facing today. Because if you had a Christian deputy from Southern Kaduna and that axis, there would be a pushback. They won't be killing his people, he will go and meet the governor and complain. The governor refuses to listen. He will complain to the media. There will be pushback. But terrorists have almost completely submerged the whole area. You can see the report just this week that terrorists use helicopter to attack Southern Kaduna. Yeah, and he's coming on TV to come and justify such division. You know, in a multi-religious country such as ours, people want to set agenda because of their personal, you know, interests and personal alliances with some candidates. You know, and it is important that we remember that even if we are not here, our children, our family members are here. People cannot go to the farms. People cannot even drive from a state capital to a village in this country. Many parts of this country have been annexed by terrorists, you know, who are in solidarity with their fellow people, you know, from all over Africa. So whether we like it or not, we can continue justifying it, thinking that we are saved from the situation, but eventually we will be one way affected than the other. Now, on the other issue of Peter will be bright, extremely bright, wonderful, you know, in an ideal country, people will listen to Peter. You look at the option, the other option, amazing, you know, lover of his country. Then there's the Konkoso MPP option as well, which many people in northern Nigeria may likely go for because people are tired of the twin evil of APC and PDP. So there are a lot of options, but you know, I would have wished that the critical actors within the third force will come together and have a unified platform. Then the possibility of defeating APC PDP will be much higher. But in my view, I believe it's a welcome idea. It's a good start. Even if success is not recorded now, the journey of a million miles begins with a step. Thank you.
All right. Alex Kabba, can you respond to that, the third force, just for 30 seconds so that we can let our viewers, there are many of them who want to get involved in the conversation.
The third force would be, the third force would be of no effect in this election cycle. They are like too late. Because I was hearing it today that even Labour Party does not have an office in Kano State, the whole of Kano State. And because I was hearing it today that even Labour Party does not have an office.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
So the Labour Party does not have an office in Kano State. And you heard what from Back has said, that they should not go for Obi because he's a miser. He's only interested in himself. That is why they leaked when he was looting 250 million. This is documented fact. When he told his aides to carry 250 million to Anambra Governor's Lodge in Lagos. Because the aides, he has been so miserly with them, they leak it to the security agency and they seized that money. It came out in the press before they killed that story. But what I'm trying to say is that Peter Obi himself is not a saint. It's just somebody that the Yoruba call Adani Konje. Then for the other Kwankwaso, he was just going to be a spoiler in Kano and probably Katsina State. He cannot be president. You cannot be president by being a giant only in Kano State and you think you are going to win Ogun State. You cannot be a giant in Katsina and not have no spread in anywhere in Nigeria. So those things are distractions. Let us know that it is for the future, not this current election cycle.
What about Showore?
Showore is a Cinderella candidate. And, you know, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Me and Showore were here in New York. I told him that thing is not going to take 1 year. It's not going to take 5 years. Things are entrenched already in Nigeria. You are going to make a lot of noise.
All right.
You are going to really convince a lot of people. But the time is not yet here now.
Yeah, so
all right,
we can hear you, Rudolph.
So much. Let's get our viewers. I'll give everybody 30 seconds.
Rudolph, your line is scratchy. I don't know if others can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? No?
Yeah, we can hear you now. All right, so we'll take it, Austin Emaduku, quickly, 30 seconds, your view, so we can get more people in. Austin Emaduku, can you hear us?
Okay.
If not, Omar.
Yes, please. Good evening, all.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, please. I I want to quickly comment based on what I believe. I want to first of all thank especially Comrade Deji for his courageous statement. You know, I've been listening to the both views, both Dr. Alex to everybody, but I want to especially thank Comrade Deji for his courageous, bold statement. You know, when I listen to him, I still feel I don't live in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian, but I don't live in Nigeria. Sometimes I feel that what is happening in Nigeria, after all, is no longer my business. But listening to Deji for an instance, the way he speaks, the way his passion, his interest still in that country, you know, it still gives me the courage that no, there is still hope at the end of the tunnel. See, this is the time for us to come together and rescue Nigeria. Nigeria is kidnapped from the hand. Nigeria is the hand of kidnappers from this old politician. We know all those things. So this is not the time to debate, and we know the fact. Let us not just be arguing left and right about this person. We know, all of us, we know the truth. This is time to rescue Nigeria from the hand of these old politicians.
Omar, thank you so much. Thank you. We don't have enough time. We have a lot of people. Ebi, you are next. 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. John Kennedy. Thank you, Mr. Omono. You guys are doing great for bringing this on. First of all, I want to show my delight and love and respect for you, this man, Deji Adeyanju. By the way, I want to ask Mr. Alex some few questions. In fact, you have given me reason today to do more to ensure the dethronement of these wicked people that have been backed. First question. In 2015, the APC #1, what is it called, manifesto was to restructure Nigeria to full federalism. What has become of that? I heard you saying that Tinubu will not do it. More or less, that's what you were telling us. Because people are asking to break up from the country. I want to ask you, what is wrong with that? For people asking that they had enough and they want to break up. What is wrong with that? And you live in America. I don't want to make it personal, but I want that to sink in. Number two, you said security, that Tinubu will come and fix it. The same man that has refused to accept the killings that went to Mr. Fashionati's daughter's death and was asking people, where are the cattle? Where are the cows? Are we not seeing the cows now? I am not convinced that Tinubu will do nothing. Now, you were talking about B2B 250 million. What do you have to say with your candidate? Moving bullion bank with impunity. Even this time, Deji Adeyanju filed a petition when EFCC was looking for excuse that nobody has filed a petition. He filed a petition. Whatever, his association, they filed a petition to EFCC. They killed it. We know what is going on. Please, I beg you.
Okay, Ebi,
we do not want these people anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, what we're going to do, because we don't have a lot of time, we want to make sure it's 30 seconds, please. Just make it brief so that they will respond to your questions and comments. Richman, you're next.
Okay. Yeah, good evening all. Yeah, I'm very happy to be hearing what I'm hearing today, especially from Comrade Deji Adeyanju. And you are one of the role models, moving really the youths of Nigeria to want to do more to take back our country. Because it is not good to insult elders, but very true. Some things our elders do, they provoke the youths to begin to insult them. I was thinking that this was supposed to be generally about all the candidates. But when I heard this, my senior brother or a father, I believe he has children. Does he like how Nigeria is today? Why was he trying to support what is obvious, defending indefensible? It is really not good for our politics. But the truth is that the only thing I want to say is this: Nigerian youths are getting up. In 2023 will not be game as usual for people like Mr. Alex. We are coming to take back our country, and we are picking our PVCs. Look at little nations in Africa. Look at, I'm here in Mozambique, for example. 24 hours light, a poor country. But look at what is happening in our nation. But Alex is in New York, enjoying himself and defending the people who are taking our country ransom. But Deji Adeyanju and all the rest of us, thank you so much, because the youths are getting up, and it is not going to be business as usual. We are taking back our country, and we have candidates to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We take one more, and then they respond, and then we take the rest. Dominic, you're next.
All right. Thank you all for coming to the show. Thank you, Comrade Deji, and thank you, Alex. I'm only saying it's Alex, but I can't pronounce your last name. My apologies. Yeah, today was a very heated conversation, honestly. So I'm going to try to be brief. So you stated a few minutes ago that you spoke to Shawore, and for Shawore, according to your host, the time is not calendar. So I ask you this question: when is the right time for an individual like Shawore, who has been in the trenches and fighting for democracy? When is the time for such an individual to run in an election and be able to get support from someone like yourself, who's an elder? And in regards to that, why have you decided to resign the fate of your children and the fate of the Nigerian youth to an individual such as Tinubu and the APC, who have not amounted to anything?
All right, thank you so much, Dominic. Okay, we now get them to respond. I will start with Alex. Alex.
Yes, Dominic, let's talk about the Shawore. The Shawore is that, you see, I used to be like you, very, very idealistic, that we have a very better Nigeria, and we are going to break it down and rebuild it. But it doesn't work like that in the real life. In the real life, it's called politics. So, Shawore needs structures, and he needs resources, which he doesn't have. So, and the country is so poor as of now that it's so easy to, yes, it's so poor, the country is so poor, you can shake your head. The country is so poor that all these lofty goals you are talking now, even in America here, it cannot happen. No third party is going to defeat the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in the US. No matter how strong you are, no matter how resourceful you are, those two parties have already become strong in the US, just like the same thing in Nigeria. So if APC or PDP makes Shawore their candidate, of course it's a shoo-in, we win. But if it's going to run for election under AAP, it's not going to win. And let me tell you, Asiwaju Tinubu is not the president of Nigeria. Many people seem to think that because President Buhari is there now, it's an ampede to Buhari. The only thing that connects them together is that they are both in APC. Asiwaju Tinubu is not the current president of Nigeria, and he has not been president since 7 years. So please, you cannot know what he's going to do when he becomes president next year. Thank you.
All right. So you didn't answer the question from No, Dominic, hold on. Alex, you didn't answer the question from Richmond. You didn't respond to Debbie. Abi, but if that is all you want to give, that's okay. Deji, you're next.
Yes, please. Yes, I just want to thank everyone that has contributed. I want to agree that indeed, with the first contributor, that Nigeria has been kidnapped, completely kidnapped, and if we keep seeing the giant in the room and we fail to act, and it's going to get worse. They will not only take over Kaduna Express Road, they are going to take over Ibadan. You can see what the Methodist pastor that was kidnapped said. He said the Fulani people told them that they are in all the bushes. They are everywhere. And Ibadan Express Road, they are everywhere. They're just waiting for the signal. So I agree. And again, I agree with the second speaker that he was just asking fundamental question. Do we like the way the country is this way? How can we continue to watch things go on like this and just act ignorant? Trust me, my brother Alex, who is in New York or wherever, he can't say he's more comfortable than me. I won't say I'm richer than him, but I'm extremely comfortable. I have a petrol station I inherited from my father. I had a chain of several businesses I inherited from my mother. She's been doing the business since in the 1970s. In fact, there's nowhere in the world that I choose to stay today that will not be a big boy. There's nowhere in the world that if I go to that, I will buy the best house, I will live a big boy. So it's not about the comfort. It's not because you are getting some dollars from people or you are getting dollars from CBN at 400 naira and you are selling it at 600. You are making profit, therefore you start defending Buhari, or because they give you oil contracts in NNPC and you start defending what is wrong or defending government. I am extremely comfortable. I don't even need to speak up for anything. But I cannot continue to see the way this country is going down on a daily basis. Bread under corruption, a loaf of bread under corruption was 200 naira per loaf. Today, under change, and next level is 750 naira. I know when I go to the market, I know how women are squeezing their face out, everybody is angry. I know what is going on in this country. This country is not working. How can anybody in all good conscience, because of what they are benefiting from government, come and be defending these people? A general in the Nigerian army told me that you cannot go to Kaduna by road. The day that attack happened on the train, the general called me. He said, he thank God though that he's not on the train. That if he's on the train, they will have killed him on the spot. You can imagine the level of insecurity in this country. And people are still comfortable defending the indefensible. Again, on the third, when the third speaker was talking, the first thing that came to my mind was, how can you imagine that a helicopter was used to kill innocent women and children in Southern Kaduna? And now we are here, we're still talking about PDP and APC, for God's sake. If it was about benefit, for God's sake, we'll be talking about the people that are sharing dollars all over the place. The only reason why FFK and others are defending these people is because they are sharing dollars and they are giving them dollars. Again, on the issue of what time, whether when we were discussing about Showore, whether the time is right. The time is always right to try to salvage your country. And I'm making a special appeal, especially to our brothers and sisters in diaspora. You can do way much, you can do even more than us who are here. Because the Nigerian economy has collapsed. From the office of the debt management office and even the MBS, it has shown that you are the ones sustaining our economy now. That the money you send to the country in transfers is what they are using to run the economy. Buhari has finished stealing our reserves, our resources, our foreign reserve, even the money that they borrowed, they are finished looting it. Buhari even went further to loot pensions. Now, all what they're using to run the economy is the money you people send to Nigeria. You have the greater responsibility of making sure that our country will work in our lifetime. Majority of my friends have bought passports, foreign passports. But I only have Nigerian passport. I can say it anywhere in the world. I've had the opportunity of having the US passport, the British passport, the Canadian passport, but I have never, if I stay out of Nigeria for 2 weeks, I begin to miss Nigeria. I am here, they know where my house is, they know where my office is. They can come and pick me at any time, I'm not scared of them. I am here in Abuja, I'm not living abroad, I'm not supporting anybody from abroad, I'm in Abuja.
All right.
And you are all living witnesses to how many times they've arrested me and dragged me all over the place. But that shouldn't deter us. So my appeal to all of you is that before you send money to anybody in Nigeria, you must make sure that they are thinking right, they are acting right, they want what is best for Nigeria.
Okay, thank you.
Rudolph.
Yeah.
Please, we want this program to be fact-based. Adeyanju has no evidence to back that Buhari has looted the pension fund or stolen money. I think you should allow your guests to make remarks that can be substantiated, because I am not going to participate in a show where you will be saying a president has looted the pension fund and you will not provide any evidence to back yourself up. This is not a social media gathering where the people just bring out all conspiracy theory. I have never heard that Buhari looted the pensions fund. I didn't read it anywhere, and there's no evidence to back your allegation. So please, we respect you as an activist, but your activism should be based on facts.
All right.
Thank you very much. We've had very little time, just 5 minutes. Can we take 2, maximum 3 comments, 30 seconds, then we'll get the guests we'll bring in the guests for their final words. Neka, please, could you unmute and in 30 seconds, let's hear from you.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Deju, thank you so very much. I really applaud your confidence and braveness. Alex, I'm just wondering what is going on here. What is really going on here? You're saying that can Deju provide evidence? Why will Buhari be going to medical treatments abroad? I've never seen any of the American presidents going to medical treatment in another country. I would like to come back to Nigeria. So please, the 21st century is the century of Africa, and we need the youth to come in. I am not disrespecting elderly, but Tinubu should step away. Let Pete Obi and the youth run the government, please. That's all I want to say. We cannot be discouraged with what is happening. I am really totally disappointed in what you're saying, Alex, and you're in New York. I would like to go back to Nigeria myself, and I will like to be comfortable when I get there. Thank you so much.
All right. So, Chido, are you there? Are you frozen again? All right. Let me go to Chibuzo. Chibuzo, 30 seconds, please.
Good everyone. Good everyone. My own condition is this. Comrade Deji, I've been following you for a very long time. It has been good knowing you, following your programs about the good governance. You know, I'm here in the United States. I know how things runs here. I'm Mr. Les. I'm very disappointed you're in New York speaking this way. For real, I have my kids here. I can't take them to Nigeria right as it is right now because of the constitution of Nigeria. And you're here telling us whatever that you are saying. I don't buy that idea. As you said, Labour Party doesn't have a structure, but I'm the structure here. I become a structure here in the United States. Since 5 days now, I've become a structure. All right? And from the government, we that are here, we have already built a structure by making sure that my own brother there rent a space, a shop. You know, to make a structure. Human beings are the structure, not even the building you see. Human beings are structures. As it is now, from Abuja to Owerri government, people are moving back to Owerri to build a structure as a human being, not as a structure as a building. Please, I hope this group is not just a political group, but a good conscience, good citizen. So let's make it that way. I'm not to bring in all this. Buhari have not done this or bring evidence. We all know if my wife know Buhari have been a bad president. So let's not to go there. So I pray things will work out well for us.
All right, thank you. One last question, then we have to round up. Alaro, go ahead and just 30 seconds, please.
Thank you very much, my brothers. And for the first time, I'm glad we have an opposition that's speaking. It's very good to always talk to the other side. So let's talk about everything. Now, with all due respect, you said the third party cannot win. Politically, I understand what you're saying. But this will be the first time a third party has to come into play in Nigeria. We cannot settle for quote-unquote status quo. Now, how does this movement turn into votes? They talk about platform. They don't have a platform for it. The platform is what you have, my dear brother, Dr. Damages, and like minds like yourself. More grace, all the support we will give. Nigerians, I'm a PDP carrying member. Like I said, I was the former chairman of PDP NRV Germany. I will not vote for PDP. I'm not voting party line, I'm voting for the nation. We all have to now take a consensus. They talk, every party talk consensus. Now the people have to choose a consensus leader that will lead, no matter what platform. At some point, not now, at some point, all the other candidates besides APC and PDP have to now decide to collapse into one. Don't divide the votes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much. So just 30 seconds, Alex, then Deji, and then we round up. It's already past 1 minute past the time. Quickly.
All right. Thank you very much, Ido and Rudolph. Ashwaju has fought for Nigeria when many people were sleeping in their room. People like us were in Alagbon, and Ashwaju too. We were being trained by military intelligence, security agency. And all these ones now have brought in democracy that all of us are talking about today. And the food is ready now. You now say that Ashwaju, who helped in preparing this democracy, is too old now. Oh, it's not good enough. Oh, it's this, it's that. And you people, where were many of you in 1992, 1993, 1995, when Bagada Kanto was killed? That was his fate. When many activists were killed, and people like Ashwaju and Alex Kabba, they survived. Now you think, if we talk our mind now, you say, oh, it's because he wants to become rich, or they have already settled him. It is time of Ashwaju now. Ashwaju has to reap the fruit of his labor. I am 100% for him. Whether you can insinuate anything, I've known this person since 1990. You can insinuate anything. I know his mind. I know it means well for Nigeria, and he's going to become president of Nigeria in the name of God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deji, quickly, then we'll run.
We shouldn't be taking the name of the Lord in vain. And for me, I believe that, I sincerely believe that I wish Ashwaju Tinubu well. I know that it is lifetime ambition to be president. I wish him good health, but I do not wish him Aso Rock. Because Aso Rock is not an old people's home, it's not a retirement home, and that is Aso Rock a sick bay. We have witnessed a lot of sick bay activities in the last 7 years. We don't want to wish our country such a sin. Talking about Ashwaju sacrificing much for Nigeria, I don't know what sacrifice he's talking about, because I have been to jail uncountable times since when I was 17. You know, under this Buhari regime, I've been arrested almost 6, 7, 8 times. I've been to jail several times. So if it's about sacrifice, I should be the one benefiting more than Ashwaju. He has not gone to any jail before. Small whistle, he ran away after June 12th. We are talking about he has been through a lot. So because he has been through, I've been through a lot now, I should be parking bullion van in my house. Because I've been to jail for Nigeria, I should be parking bullion van in my house. So these arguments are not tenable. We've made more sacrifices than this so-called Ashwaju for this country. I was almost killed here in the name of democracy, defending this country on the street of Abuja. Who has ever beaten Ashwaju on the street before? Or who has ever tried to kill him before? Small whistle that they blow after June 12th, the majority of them betrayed and ran away. We've been here for the past 7 years. Look at all what we have faced. At a point, I won't mention the embassy in this country, one of the top 3 embassies in this country, called me, I should come and stay inside the embassy, and if I want citizenship, they will give it to me. I say, I don't need it. I don't need it. We are going to stay here. We are not in diaspora. We are staying here fighting for a country that works for all from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deji, and thank you all our guests, listeners, and viewers from around the world. It's been a very scintillating episode of 90 Minutes Africa. We hope we'll see you again next week. Follow us on our social media platforms, 90 Minutes Africa and Dr. Damages on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On behalf of my co-hosts, Dr. Damages, Rudolph Okonkwo, thank you. And Rudolph, you want to say something?
No, thank you, everybody. I appreciate that time.